Hi guys. To celebrate 200 subscribers, I have a Q&A video for you guys. You asked, and I answered. Thank you so much to everyone who filled out the form. If you have any questions that I didn't answer in this video, comment them and I will answer them there. For this video I think I'll start with more K-pop related questions and progress to the personal ones. Without further ado, let's get started. What's your name? I'm not really comfortable with having my real name out there, but you can call me Axie. I'm a girl, if you were wondering. Which groups do you stan? So, I made 2 videos a couple of months ago about groups that I stan and groups that I almost stan, and when I made them I thought I was being quirky or something by only stanning 3 groups. But I have since realized that attitude is really dumb, and if I support other people having their own definitions of stanning, then I can change mine whenever I want as well. So I've decided that Red Velvet, ITZY, and Twice are my ults, in that order, and all the other groups in the almost stanning video I do actually stan now. That includes Mamamoo. For the person who asked about them, I feel so freed. My stan list will probably change sometime, but for now if you want to know about it you can watch those videos. I'll link them in the description. Do you stan any boy groups? If so, which ones? I am a casual fan of many 3rd and 4th gen boy groups, as well as SHINee, but I wouldn't say that I stan any of them. The boy group with my favorite music right now is SHINee. The active boy groups who I enjoy watching the performances of most are Stray Kids and NCT. I think NCT's concept is an interesting one and I love their dances, but their music is just not my thing. Some compilations of the members' funny moments are fun to watch. I do check out the comebacks of every boy group, though, because music is music no matter where it comes from. I just don't think I could stand them. Who is your alt bias and group? As I said, my alt group is Red Velvet, but I don't have a bias in Red Velvet, so after OT5 Red Velvet I would say that my alt bias is Roojin from ITZY. Very close to her, if not tied, is Dahyun from Twice, which is why she's my profile picture. I find it very difficult, generally, to pick biases, so even Roojin and Dahyun barely edge out their group members in my heart. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, or 4th gen stan? I like and appreciate the music of all generations, but I only stan 3rd and 4th gen groups. I don't know much about 1st gen since it was so long ago. I know a little more about 2nd gen. Those 2nd gen groups like SHINee, FX, and Kara have some of my favorite music, but I can't stand them since they are inactive or disbanded for the most part. I know way more about 3rd and 4th gen groups considering that they are still active, and that's why I stan groups in those generations. I would continue to listen to K-pop in the future when my favorite groups disband. Maybe I wouldn't stan any groups, since I would have a pretty busy life at that point, but I would still listen to their music. If you could travel the world with one idol, who would it be? It's so hard to choose. Probably Yeri, because she seems like someone who would enjoy travel and would know a lot about wherever we were going. Plus, she's really funny and is literally British, if you didn't know. There are other idols like Dahyun who I think would be a blast to hang out with, but I don't know if they'd have as much fun traveling specifically. So yeah, Yeri. Favorite album? Red Velvet's The Perfect Velvet, which contains Peekaboo, Look, Attaboy, and My Second Date, to mention a few. Close behind is Red Velvet's Dum Dum, which has a greater percentage of songs that I really like, but those songs I don't like as much as those on The Perfect Velvet. My favorite K-pop song of all time, Oh Boy, is on Dum Dum, though maybe those 2 albums are tied. Old song that hasn't grown old yet? Peekaboo, because it was a banger when I first heard it at release and still is. Fancy is also a contender but hasn't been around for as long, so it still may have time to not age well. Do you like ships? No, shipping is literally so ridiculous. I understand wanting your biases to be friends or something, and to get cute interactions, but serious shipping is a big no-no. A lot of people say that it's harmless because the idols won't see it, but they do. For example, Solar of Mamamoo gets shipped with groupmate Moonbill all the time, and people had the audacity to keep asking her about it on one of her live streams, clearly making her uncomfortable. Like, the least you could do is not ask the idol about it to their face. Be a decent human being. What do you dislike most about K-pop? The fans. People on the internet in general are way worse than they would be in person. And then when you sort them into groups based on idols that they have a strange devotion to, you can only imagine how much worse it will get. Companies do very little if anything to control fans, and it gets out of hand a lot of the time, and can hurt both idols and other fans. I just want to enjoy my K-pop in peace without people fighting online about it. Favorite Twice song? Either Rollin' or 24/7, both from their first album Twice Targram. Favorite female soloist? Sunmi. Favorite JYP female dancer? Yeji. If you could change something in K-pop, what would it be? If you extended this question to fandoms and stuff, I would remove Twitter and all K-pop. Just delete them from the internet permanently. But if you mean the K-pop industry specifically, I would make all music shows upload performances in the highest quality possible. The only reason why things like Studio Tune exist is because music shows themselves aren't good enough. Can all music shows be like Mnet? Please? Give me that sweet 1080p quality video. When did you get into K-pop and how? K-pop has always been around, because I live in an area with a high percentage of Korean population. So K-pop would be played in stores and stuff, and a lot of my friends liked K-pop. I also knew BTS was a thing, but funnily enough, I didn't know girl groups existed. In late 2017, one of my friends who was an EXO-L basically tried to convert everyone she knew to an EXO, thus formally introducing me to K-pop. I didn't like EXO or any boy groups for that matter, so she compromised by showing me Red Velvet, and I became a Rave love. So I would say that Red Velvet is the group that got me into K-pop. Thoughts on Song of the Year? It'll probably be something by Blackpink, with How You Like That being the obvious nomination. I would also nominate Left and Right by 17, and 8 by IU and Sugar. Honestly, I'm not really sure, but How You Like That is definitely my top pick. Do you like Card's music? Not really. I like their earlier stuff, even if it all did sound the same. But nowadays I hate their music. I feel like it gets worse and worse. But people seem to like it, so I'm not one to stop y'all. Are you watching Island / did you watch Produce? I am not watching Island and I have zero interest. I did watch the entirety of Produce 48 and Produce 101, but both a long time after they ended, so I knew who the winners were going to be, and I just watched them to see what they were like. They weren't bad shows, but Mnet was a snake like usual with the editing and whatnot. Do you watch K-dramas, and if so, what are your faves? I don't really watch K-dramas. I did watch one, which was King, Eternal Monarch. The premise was a really good one, but the plot was meh and the actors were also meh. I was interested in it enough to finish it, but I probably wouldn't watch a second season if they had one, so I can't give you recommendations. Sorry. Do you buy albums? Yes, but only those of ITZY and Red Velvet. My sister has a Twice collection, which is why I don't buy those. I only have so much money. After all, I bought her a signed Twice album once, but how I got that on my budget is kind of a long story, so I'll talk about it some other time. My collection is very small right now and I only own one version of each album, and not even all albums of Red Velvet, but when I'm older and have a job I would definitely complete it. I post some pictures of my collection on my Instagram, at axie.stan, if you want to see that. Remember that not buying merch doesn't make you any less of a fan. What editing app do you use? I use iMovie, but I always wanted to learn how to use other apps to get all those cool effects everyone seems to have in their intros. The apps I hear about are all for phones, though, and I use my computer to edit. If I ever made money from this channel, I would use it to buy a professional editing app for my computer. Did the chicken or the egg come first? The chicken, because evolutionarily the chicken ancestor laid the first egg that contained a chicken. But because that egg did not come from a chicken, it would not be called a chicken egg. It would be called a chicken ancestor egg. Then, a chicken hatched from that egg. I'm probably wrong about this, but I also just spent a whole minute trying to figure it out, so that's my best explanation. How do you find balance in life? I don't. In fact, this YouTube channel in general is probably a huge mistake when it comes to balancing my life. Who starts a YouTube channel when you have things like schoolwork to do? Me. Apparently, I'm at an age where I don't think figuring that kind of thing out takes first priority, so I'd rather do what I find fun and worry about the rest later. Everything will work itself out as long as you keep in mind what your goals are, and I have very clear goals for my life. My tip for you is to set goals and fulfill those goals. Break those goals down into smaller ones so you feel like you've accomplished something every day. It adds up. What's your favorite flavor of crayon? Macaroni, obviously. Favorite food? The easy answer is anything that my mom makes. The more general answer is poke, which has been gaining a lot of popularity lately. It's a Hawaiian dish which is basically sushi in a bowl, but with many different ingredients being added in. It is literally so good. Unless you are vegetarian or something, I highly encourage you to try it. How old are you? 15 at the time that this video is posted, but I turned 16 in a couple of weeks. I know I sound like a boomer most of the time. Trust me, I'm not. Where are you from? I'm from the United States of America. More specifically, the greater New York City area. I haven't seen that many K-pop YouTubers from around here, so if you are one of them then hit me up. The great thing about living here is that all the K-pop concerts are here, in some cases only 15 minutes from my town. I feel bad for the stans that are in countries that K-pop groups don't come to. Hope you all can see your fave soon. What inspired/motivated you to start the channel? Pure boredom. I started it only a few months ago, since it was summer and of course I was stuck at home with nothing to do. I like watching K-pop YouTube and have been watching it since I got into K-pop, but I was always sad that the people I watched didn't share a lot of my opinions. And I had a lot of opinions that I really wanted people to hear. So I started my own channel, where all videos posted will be in 100% agreement with myself. Jokes aside, I also wanted to meet other K-pop stans online and build a community. So far that has been my favorite part of running this channel. That's all the questions, though if you have any that I didn't answer, be sure to comment them and I'll answer in the comments. I want to say a huge thank you not just for 200 subscribers but also for all the kind things you guys have been saying in the comments and in the responses for this form. As I said, I wanted to build a community, and to know that people are enjoying the things that I made, much less coming together around my videos, makes me very happy. I'm not a perfect K-pop YouTuber by any means, but I'm glad that you all like the videos in spite of that. And to the person who said they liked filling out the form, your input is greatly appreciated. I will definitely use the form system in the future, and a me versus my subscribers video will happen at a future subscriber milestone. With that said, bye guys, and I'll see you in the next one.